Chris Godinez, licensed professional counselor, also the host of We Need to Talk, usually on every Sunday at noon. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. If you feel you need a therapist, please go to Google, type in therapy, your city, Psychology Today will pop up, click on that, and it will have qualified therapists in your area. This video, the views and opinions stated in this video are mine and mine alone. They do not represent the ACA, the APA, or any other goddamn therapist for that matter. Thanks for playing. Bye-bye. Boom, shakalaka, done. Okay, so tons of questions. Hey guys, tons of questions that need to be answered. So first and foremost, since the federal government is unwilling to calm people down, let me do it. All right, here's the deal. Stop hoarding. Stop hoarding. Stop hoarding. Do normal grocery shopping. Why? Because people who need rubbing alcohol, such as people who have catheters, people who have got breathing apparatuses that need to be cleaned by alcohol, are unable to find any. So this is harming the very people who are the most susceptible. So please stop hoarding toilet paper, rubbing alcohol, etc. Y'all should have been washing your hands in the damn first place, okay? So washing your hands, singing happy birthday twice while washing your hands underwater, that is sufficient to get stuff off your hands, okay? You don't need the rubbing alcohol. Please, if you have neighbors that have got medical conditions, check in with them. Make sure they are okay. We need people that are, not acting like narcissists, okay? Because let me clue you into something. Narcissists are the ones who are, I've got mine, screw you. Stop acting like that. You don't need to, okay? So rubbing alcohol is needed for people that have got medical apparatuses. Toilet paper, obviously. Face masks, okay? Guys, you need to start contacting your senators and your representatives now and demand action because the federal government is trying to put it back on the states. The federal government should have had a reserve of medical supplies to distribute. That is what the pandemic team was for that was let go from the CDC 2 years ago. So if you're pissed about the situation, please contact your senators and your representatives, okay? The virus is out. People are coming down with it. The good news, bad news is that as of now, it still seems to be affecting people that have got underlying conditions. However, there are the one-off cases where it affects somebody younger that has no underlying conditions. So again, common sense, please use common sense. Wash your hands, cough into your elbow, try not to be out. This is what I don't understand. All of these people who are freaked out and buying stuff, guess how close they're staying to each other in the grocery stores? Right next to each other. How is that social distancing? Don't get me started. Okay. Please check in on neighbors. Please check in on the elderly. Please check in on anybody who has got medical issues of any kind. Make sure they have enough of what they need. It does take a village. Stop being selfish pricks. Share if you've got, I just sent a care package to my sister in California who's in her 70s and cannot get out and get groceries because there are none to be had. So stop hoarding, guys. We don't need to hoard. And if everybody would just go back to regular grocery shopping for the necessities, okay? You don't need a year's worth of toilet paper unless you're some sort of freaking alien and are eating it. And here's another little PSA. You cannot flush paper towel down the toilet. You cannot. It's going to overwhelm the sewer system. So please stop flushing paper towel down the toilet. Keep a waste paper basket near your commode. You cannot flush baby wipes down the toilet. Please stop flushing baby wipes down the toilet. You cannot do that. It's going to overwhelm the sewer system. You think we got problems now? Wait till the shit starts flowing in the street. So, okay, there is all that. Continue doing the social isolation or the social distancing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, let me see. If you are going to shop, please do it locally. The local businesses are doing curbside stuff and they're trying desperately to stay in business. If you are out of a job, I know that the hospitals are hiring, okay? Last place most people want to be, but if you need money, the hospitals are hiring. Costco is hiring. Target is hiring. Grocery stores are hiring because they're overwhelmed. So there is that. Virtual get-togethers. Do it. Now is the time to reach out to each other. Trusted family members, trusted friends, not narcissists, because remember, In this time of weirdness, this is when the narcissists are going to hoover. So don't fall for the hoover. So, all right. So I think I covered all my PSAs here, but now I want to hit questions that I've been getting. So with people getting out of work, with people being laid off, because that's what's happening, I've been hearing that narcissists are shaming people for accepting unemployment, which is stupid. So here's the reason why they do that. They want to keep you financially dependent. They want to keep you financially in the dregs. They want to be able to keep you one down. So yes, they are going to shame you for asking for assistance. They're going to shame you for going on to state insurance. They're going to shame you for doing anything to better yourself. So super important that you, if you are out of a job, you find out when your last paycheck is. Absolutely. It's like, when can I expect this? So that you know when your last thing is coming in. Like I said, hospitals are hiring, Costco is hiring, Target is hiring, grocery stores are hiring. So look for that. Please stop hoarding masks, guys. The medical professionals need them. Okay. Okay. All right. Sorry. I'm kind of all over the place. Just so much. All right. So hang on. So let me go to some of these questions that we've had. John is typing out the questions right now as they're coming in. So
I can read you the first
one.
Oh,
okay. All right. What is the first one?
It's basically a relationship question.
Okay.
How do we approach having a healthy long distance relationship after abuse? Go ahead and repeat it.
How do you approach having a healthy long distance relationship after abuse? I don't recommend long distance relationships. I don't. And the reason being is because you don't see that person on a daily basis. You don't know what they're doing when you guys are not online or when you're not, talking. I am not a fan of long distance relationships because you don't get to see them on the daily. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not a fan of them. I don't think that they're very healthy. And I think it's a way to avoid intimacy, quite frankly, because you're not with that person. And when I say intimacy, people often mistake that. They're thinking, oh, sex. No, that is not intimacy. What intimacy is authenticness, being authentic, being with that person, with the good, the bad, the ugly, the real, the whole thing. John's making faces over there. So yes, it's intimacy is being real. Intimacy is being authentic and sharing and helping each other and being there for each other. That's intimate. It's not just sex that's intimate. It's emotional. It's intellectual. It's, the whole enchilada, if you will. So long distance relationships, generally, I do not find to be very healthy. I don't. There's a lot of no intimacy. There's a lot of not dealing with reality, not dealing with the day-to-day issues, not dealing with how do they squeeze their toothpaste out of the tube, that type of thing. So you want to be very careful about that. So yeah, next question.
Okay, next question. So one of the questions is somebody has BPD and they're really struggling with the isolation. And
oh God,
do you have any tips for how they can deal with the anxiety and the isolation?
Okay, so for all of us, whether you have borderline personality disorder or not, this isolation thing is hard because think about it. We are social animals. We are pack animals. We need each other. Hello. So when we are having to be isolated, now is the time to reach out to support groups, okay, online. Super important. If you are struggling with alcohol or addiction, there are AA on virtual AA meetings throughout the country, NA meetings, CMA meetings, so crystal meth meetings, NA Narcotics Anonymous, AA Alcoholics Anonymous. So there are meetings throughout the country. So all you do is you type on online AA meetings and then boom, it'll pop up. And John, if you could put that in the chat, can you the AA stuff, that would be really helpful. For borderline or any mental health thing, my strongest suggestion is you've got to do self-care for this whole period, guys, for anybody. So, isolation is hard. It is. And if we've got thoughts that are mean, vicious, cruel, whatever, now is the time to practice. Thank you for your input. Shut the fuck up. Why? Because you say so. You're the boss. I say so. You say so. You're the boss. I am good enough. It's okay for me to love myself. It's okay for me to be alone right now. And this is really hard, especially for borderline personality disorder, because think about it. BPD is rooted in trauma, rooted. And our worst fear as a borderline would be to have abandonment. And so what does this feel like? This feels like Mother Nature has sent us to our room and said, see what you did? Why don't you think about it? So do you see where I'm going with that? So it is hard. It is hard. And it's not a punishment, guys. It's a precaution. All we're trying to do is flatten the curve so that not everybody all at once comes down with COVID. We are all going to get it, guys. We are. At some point or another, we are all going to get it. So what they're trying to do is keep it at a steady rate so that the hospitals and the nursing staff don't get overwhelmed. Because remember, your nurses, your doctors, your PAs, those people are on the front lines and they are going to get it first. And who do we need? Nurses, doctors, PAs. So if you know a nurse or a doctor, EMTs, paramedics, just give them all the love in the world. Ask them what they need. And if you have masks, give it to them because they're the ones who are going to need it. So they're being exposed to it first and foremost. But anyway, getting back to the question, reach out online. There are so many support groups out there, guys. And do be careful because remember, predators don't have their line of supply anymore, especially since they're isolated. So they're going to be stalking some of these support groups. So y'all be careful. If it walks like a narcissistic duck and quacks like a narcissistic duck and shits like a narcissistic duck, it's probably a goddamn narcissistic duck. So be very careful. And their favorite food to feed off of is somebody with borderline because of the fear, because they know that there's a sense of abandonment. There's a fear of abandonment and oh, baby, I'll never leave you. I'll da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And yeah. So online support groups are amazingly important. One of my friends, actually Annie Brenitz, who does my marketing, he just said, hey guys, I'm having a virtual happy hour on Thursday. Please join me. And I don't drink, but it's like, okay, I can bring my Diet Coke. Cool. And so it's a way to reconnect with family and friends. Trusted. So remember, in this time, there's going to be a lot of people wanting to do, a lot of narcissists, abusers, wanting to do the Hoover because they're playing off of the fears of being alone. Don't fall for it. For the love of God and all that's holy, don't fall for it. So self-care like a motherfucker right now. Like seriously, do yoga. John and I are doing yoga through YouTube. So meditation, breathing meditations, journaling, writing and burning, getting rid of it, practice letting stuff go. Because that's the other thing. Part of the disorder, part of borderline is that we learn very early not to let go of stuff because the amygdala is terrified. And so it hangs on to stuff like, oh my God, I have to hang on to this and I cannot let it go. Oh, pry those little fingers off of it. Let it go. Let it go. I'm going to start singing. Jesus Christ. Anyway, so that's that. So self-care like a champ, seriously, and reach out to people and vocalize your fears. Sometimes just being able to say, this is scary. And oh my gosh, I'm scared. Yeah, it is scary. And yeah, we are scared. And we're all in it together, guys. You're not alone. We are all in it together and we will get through it. We will weather this storm. It's kind of like the Buddhist worry chart. Is there a problem? Oh, fuck yeah, there is. Can you do anything about it? Well, I can wash my hands for, singing happy birthday 2 times through. That's one way to do it. Or I Will Survive by Gloria, what's her name? And you can self-isolate. You can socially distance. You can be responsible with your shopping and not fucking hoard. You can, there are some things we can do. And then there are some things we have absolutely no control over. So can you do something about it? Well, I can do limited things about it. Other than that, I got to learn to let it go and just be in the moment. And if the moment is being scared, okay, I'm scared. Who can you reach out to? Who can you reach out to help soothe yourself? But you're going to have to learn to self-soothe. It's okay. It is scary. Everybody's scared. You're not alone. And we will get through this. We will get through this. And good leadership would be saying that. That's all I got to say about that. Okay, next question.
This is a narcissistic question, or
okay.
A psychology question. Can you talk about avoidant personality disorder, and how do you tell the difference between that and C-PTSD?
Okay, avoidant personality disorder is they pathologically avoid anything that they are not assured success at. So seriously, if they aren't 100% sure that they're going to succeed, they don't even try. They just don't even try. They just avoid. C-PTSD, let's talk about that. So with complex post-traumatic stress disorder, what happens with that are flashbacks. as if they are happening. Because remember, the amygdala is stupid. It's 3-0 stupid. It's like stupid. It cannot tell the difference between current event, past event, daydreaming about an event, an emotional event, a thought about an emotional event. Everything to the amygdala is like here now, here now, here now. So when we have a thought about abuse that has happened in the past, the amygdala goes and tells the hippocampus, hypothalamus to release cortisol, which is our stress hormone. We tense up, we stop breathing, we take puffy little breaths, which screws up our CO2 oxygen exchange. That tells another part of the brain, holy shit, we're in danger, we need more energy. So that tells the adrenal gland that sits on top of the kidney, release everything at once. So it releases everything at once. So now we're shaking like a leaf. We've got pounding heart, racing thoughts. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, and no oxygen. And that's basically when we do one of two things. We either go into your stereotypical panic attack, which is, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I'm going to die, I'm going to die, I'm going to die, and pass out, boom. Or we turn into the Incredible Hulk, because remember, anger is part of the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. So, your body is getting you ready to fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. So people with PTSD have a lot of, that fight response or flight response. That is different than avoidant, okay? So fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Flight, obviously running, fight, getting into it. Freeze, like a bunny rabbit, so that, the predator just kind of goes on by. Or fawn, giving into the threat so that we don't get killed. So there is that. Flashbacks, nightmares, terrible sleeping, poor eating, like they're either eating too much or not enough. Irritability, so that's part of the anger. Irritability, trying to think of some of the other off my top of my head because I don't know where my DSM-4 is. Anyway, the point being is there's a whole series of things that happens with C-PTSD. Is avoidant part of it? Yeah, you avoid whatever triggers the flashbacks, but that's different than avoidant personality disorder. So in other words, let's say, okay, let me use me as an example. I was in a motorcycle accident in 2010. I broke my arm. I don't know if you can see the scar, but I broke my arm and I had to have surgery. About 6 months later, I thought, you know what? I want to get back up on a motorcycle. So I went into the motorcycle shop. I found the exact same model of motorcycle. I literally put my hand on it and I had a complete and total panic attack. Boom. My body was like, oh, hell no, bitch. You're not getting back on that. And I'm like, okay, we're good. So, John's like, coward. Because he still writes. Anyway, so the point being is our body tells us, the body keeps score by somebody with a shit. The Body Keeps Score, great book, read it. So we remember, and our body, our amygdala goes, oh, no, we're going to avoid that. Oh yeah, don't want to go there. And so what happens though is that the amygdala starts associating everything with danger. So if we keep getting triggered, the amygdala is going to go, nope, don't want to go there. And that's when agoraphobia sets in, is because the world starts getting smaller and smaller and smaller, which is different than avoidant personality disorder, because avoidant personality disorder basically avoids anything and everything that could possibly be failed at. I don't know if that makes any sort of sense. So anyway, next question.
Okay.
Yes.
Why does my abuser keep making fun of me and threatening to ruin my life when I've been nothing but supportive?
Because they're assholes. Let's be perfectly clear. You just said it in your first sentence. Why does my abuser? Because they're abusive. That is what they do. This is the nature of abusers. So I'm going to tell the frog and the scorpion story again. So frog and a scorpion on one side of the river. And the scorpion comes up to the frog and says, Mr. Frog, I would like a trip across the river. I'll ride on your back. And the frog looks at the scorpion and says, I'm not going to do that, Mr. Scorpion. You're going to sting me as soon as we get out into the middle of the river. And the scorpion goes, oh, Mr. Frog, I'm not going to do that. Why would I do that? Then we would both die. So the frog thought about it for a little bit and went, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. All right, well, climb on. So, scorpion's on his back and he gets out into the middle of the river, and goddamn if that son of a bitch didn't sting him. And as they're going down in the water, the frog looks up at the scorpion with these wide eyes and goes, but why? Why, Mr. Scorpion? Why would you do that? And the Scorpion looked at him and said, because it's in my nature. And nature is important. So they have no empathy. They get their jollies, quite literally, from abusing people. You just said it in the first sentence of your question. Why does my abuser? Because they abuse. And that is who they are. They have shown you who they are. Believe them the first time. Go, no contact. I hope that answered the question. Okay, next question.
Next question. How can we know for sure that our parents are narcissistic or have those tendencies? I'm very confused. What if I'm the narcissist?
If you're asking if you're the narcissist, you're not the narcissist. Narcissists never question themselves. They do not have that moment of introspection where they go, what is the nature of life? What is the meaning of life? Why am I here? How am I impacting other people? Am I good? Am I evil? Am I doing the right thing? They never contemplate their navel ever. They never do that. They never do that. So, narcissistic personality disorder, the signs and symptoms, there's 9 of them. Mayo Clinic. Can you put that up on the chat? So, cause I should have grabbed my DSM. You know what? I bet my DSM is in the bedroom. Can you go grab it? So there are 9 criteria for narcissistic personality disorder. So one of them is needing excessive amounts of admiration. Oh, you're good, you're fabulous, you're this, you're that. Tell me again how great I am. Tell me again how fabulous I am. Expecting especially favorable treatment, so like walking into a restaurant and demanding the best seat in the house, even though it's a Friday night and the place is packed and you didn't make a reservation, and then pitching a fit when you don't get it. Thinking that you can bribe people with money all the time. That's another clue you're dealing with a narcissist to get especially favorable treatment. Expecting to be praised for things that you did, that shouldn't be praised, that just every common person would do. Exaggerating your talents or your achievements. So claiming that you're a Medal of Honor winner when you're not, thinking that nobody's going to check that. Excessive jealousy. So they are envious of other people and they think other people are envious of them, that type of thing. So, hey, John, can you go run into the bedroom and really quick, I'm sorry. Thank you. And grab the DSM because I want to read, I think this is important. You guys need to have this cleared up. So they have a series of 9 criteria. You only need 5 to be in PD. Okay. And the other criteria you want to look up is antisocial because that's part of the dark triad. So you've got narcissistic, antisocial, and Machiavellian, which is a control freak. So somebody who's constantly trying to manipulate and control. That's what narcissists do. That's what dark triads do. So anyway, so there is that. So there's 9 criteria. You only need 5 of them to be in PD. And if you've got less than 5, let's say you've got 4, then you've got strong traits. Oh, I love you. Thank you. You are a god among men. Thank you so much. Okay. Okay. Hang on. Where are we? So narcissistic is 669. Okay. 669. Sorry, my nose is running because we have allergies. No, I don't have COVID right now. Okay. A pervasive pattern of grandiosity in fantasy or behavior, the need for admiration, lack of empathy. They don't care about another living human being. Beginning in early childhood and present in a variety of contexts is indicated by 5 or more of the following. Has a grandiose sense of self-importance, exaggerated achievements and talents, expects to be recognized as superior without commiserate achievements. Number 2, is preoccupied with fantasies of unlimited success, power, brilliance, beauty, or ideal love. I could have been a contender, that kind of thing. Well, I could have done that. I have that. I should be getting that award because I'm fabulous. That kind of bullshit, Number 3, believes that he or she is special and unique and can only be understood or associate with other special or high status people. Literally, they are too good to associate with a lower economic class, in their heads. Somebody that's, not famous, somebody that's, they're bastards. Don't get me started. Number 4, requires excessive admiration. Number 5, has a sense of entitlement, unreasonable expectations of especially favorable treatment, or automatic compliance with their demands or expectations. So in other words, they do the whole, when I say jump, you'd better fucking ask how high. Oh yeah, don't get me started. Number 6 is exploitive, interpersonally, takes advantage of others to achieve his or her own ends. Number 7, lacks empathy, is unwilling to recognize or identify with the feelings and needs of others. Stop fucking hoarding. Shows arrogant, haughty behaviors or attitudes. Okay. They come unglued if things are not perfect. Okay. It's like, well, I deserve this. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, so there is that. So if you're not having all of those, or if you've got traits of, if you've got just 1 or 2, then that's traits of. But once you pass 2 into the 3 or 4 range, strong traits of. Okay. 5, full blown. So there, that is. I hope that answered the question. So next.
After I left the narc 2.5 years ago, the hardest thing about healing for me was learning how to forgive myself.
Yes.
Do I need to forgive the narc in order to be fully healed?
No, fuck the narc. Fuck the narc sideways with an unlubricated baseball bat. Y'all don't need to forgive them, people. But what you do need to do is let them the fuck go. There's a difference. So forgiveness is not what you think it is. Everybody's like, oh, I forgive you, and I'm going to have this wonderful kind of kumbaya moment, and everything's going to be sunshine and unicorn farts. No, it's not. This is what forgiveness is. Okay? I get it. I get why you've behaved the way you have. You're a fucking narcissist. You have no empathy. Maybe you were raised poorly. I don't care. Here's the deal. I forgive you because you are simply being a scorpion, behaving the way that they are. Okay, now I need to forgive me. Not, oh, I'm forgiving you and I need to have you in my life. That's idiot compassion. So let's talk about that. Pema Chodron, who is the American Buddhist nun, talks about idiot, whoa, lots of stuff on my desk here. What the hell? Idiot compassion. So compassion is being able to go, yep, they're a narcissist. Yep, they're a scorpion. Yep, they're going to do exactly what scorpions do, which is to sting. And so, okay, there it is. And I got involved with them because of my attachment disorder or my lack of self-esteem. And okay, you are who you are. It is what it is. Forgiveness. There we go. Bye. Hasta. You're not my fucking problem. Hasta la vista, motherfucker. Do you see where I'm going with that? And then for us, it's like, okay, I need to work on my attachment disorder. I need to work on my self-esteem. I need to work on my codependency issues. I need to love me 110%. You know what? I didn't know better, and that's why I got involved with them. But now that I know better, and now that I have a list of deal breakers, and now that I'm working on myself, I can do better. Huzzah. Because I'll tell you what, that fucker will never change. They will never grow. They will never be introspective. Oh, excuse me, I'm hiccuping. They'll never be introspective. They'll never get better. They'll never have that V8 moment, really, truly, where they have spiritual enlightenment, where they go, oh shit, I'm a fucking scorpion. No, they're never going to do that, guys. So you let them the fuck go. So you write them a letter, the good, the bad, the ugly, the horrific. At the very, very end, take your power back. Motherfucker, you don't get to live in my head rent-free 1 second longer. I'm raising the rent. I'm worth more. Fuck you. Sideways, and then trot it out to the barbecue, light it on fire. Read it out once, light it on fire, let them go. Have fun with that fucker. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, karma. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Do you see where I'm going with that? So you forgive yourself because we didn't know better. Guys, if we knew better, we would do better. But we didn't. And we don't know until we know. And then once we know, now we can do something different. Forgive yourself. That's like damning a small child for not being able to speak Icelandish unless they're taught it. Do you see where I'm going with that? So, and the reason why we do that is the internal critic. So if we've had caregivers or if we've been around an abuser long enough, their criticism, their nastiness becomes our internal dialogue. It becomes our internal critic. And it just starts bagging on us like nobody's business. Well, why'd you do that? Why'd you say that? It's your fault. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, fuck you. Shut up. Why? Because I say so. I am good enough. Fuck off, abuser voice. It's not mine. Do you see where I'm going with that? So yeah, their bullshit becomes our internal critic, and we bag on ourselves for not knowing what we don't know, because they bag on us for not knowing what we don't know, because in their minds, everyone around them has to be perfect. Now, if you throw addiction on top of that, show me an addict and I'll show you somebody who demands that everybody be perfect around them. Why? Because they are the least perfect people walking the face of the planet. And in their crazy thinking, well, if everybody around me is perfect, that means I'm perfect too. Not so much. So they demand that everybody be perfect. And then we start demanding that we be perfect. Okay, guys, nobody is perfect. Nobody is perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. It happens. But it's what we do with those mistakes afterwards that's important. You be gentle with yourself. You learn from it. What can I do differently next time? Okay, good. Now I know what to do differently. All right. I know better. I'll do better. Gentle with you. Okay. Next question.
What does it mean when you dream about a former toxic relationship and all the experience all the bad emotions like it was the first day? Is that a normal sign? Is that normal, or is it a sign that there's still trauma? So they're dreaming about the former relationship that was toxic and they're experiencing all the bad emotions.
Okay, so remember, we are literally addicted to the abuser, not the abuse. The abuser, because the abuser does intermittent positive rewards. Okay. I love you. I love you. I love you. I hate you. I love you. I hate you. Hate you. Hate you. Hate you. Love you. Hate, 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 love. Love, 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 hate. And we get addicted to those times when they are loving and kind. Okay. So it literally is an addiction, not to the abuse. I want to make that perfectly clear. The intermittent positive rewards is the same psychological bullshit that was pulled on our guys in Vietnam in the POW camps. Okay, so it's a way to make the mind malleable to abuse, okay? So when we leave our object of addiction, which is our abuser, right? We're not addicted to the abuse, but we are addicted to our abuser. So when they are out of our life, what happens is what is called in recovery a drug dream. So when you're clean and sober, you will be having drug dreams. Like it depends on what's going on. So like, for example, a few years ago, after having worked with a client that was an addict, that night I had a dream that I just got fucking wasted on margaritas because rum was my drug of choice. And I woke up the next morning going, oh shit, fuck, I gotta hit a meeting. Fuck, you know? So it's the brain's way of trying to figure out why this thing, this person, or this drug, or this, you know, alcohol, or whatever your drug of choice was, is no longer in your life. It's just trying to go, wait a minute. So this thing was so important to you, but it's gone. So why is it, you know, so we dream about it. We do. And it's the brain's way of processing. And is there trauma? Yeah, probably. Absolutely. Those, just because we work on the trauma does not mean it suddenly just goes poof and everything's sunshine and roses and unicorn farts. It's not. It's still there, and we are able to cope with the triggers a lot better. We're able to go, oh yeah, that behavior right there. Oh yeah, that reminds me of my ex. There you go. Oh, you know, so, and you're able to not react. You have some detachment. So this process of leaving an abuser, super important to journal. Super important to figure out what the dream means to you. Jung was very big into dream symbology. I like dreammoods.com. They usually have some pretty good interpretations. Sometimes some of their interpretations, I'm like, guys, stop smoking the ganja, really. But most of their interpretations are pretty right on. And you figure out what the symbology is and what are you still working on? And who does the abuser remind you of from your past? And are you working on C-PTSD from Surviving to Thriving by Pete Walker? Are you working on the Inner Child Workbook by Catherine Taylor? Are you working on your self-esteem by Glenn Schiraldi, the Self-Esteem Workbook by Glenn Schiraldi? And recognize that, yeah, we will have dreams because our brain's trying to process things through. So there that is. I hope that answered the question. All right, next question. I'm wondering if I should stay away from my counselor's office. As a counselor, do you think that's necessary? To distance yourself. Here's the thing, guys. I'm doing phone sessions. So what you should do is you should call your counselor and say, hey, are you willing to do phone sessions or, Zoom sessions, because Zoom is the only HIPAA approved thing. There's other HIPAA approved things, but it's the easiest one to get a hold of for everybody. I don't like doing Zoom because I am technologically impaired. You're lucky I know how to work YouTube, swear to God and all that's holy. I'd be perfectly happy if we were still doing smoke signals. But so that's just me. And I like face-to-face contact, but in this time of pandemic, yeah, phone sessions are perfectly okay. So ask them if they're willing to do a phone session. And I think that's hugely important. The other thing of it is too, is if you have lost your job, your therapist, okay, here's why I don't take insurance. Insurance companies, in my personal opinion, are fucking evil sons of bitches that don't know what the fuck they're doing, okay? And when they get a contract with an agency or with a counselor, they then say, you cannot do a sliding scale for cash patients because that is insurance fraud. So fuck the insurance companies. I don't take insurance. I do cash payments. I do a sliding scale. I ask people what they can afford. And in this time of emergency, what people can afford is probably going to be pretty low. And if your counselor is tied to their insurance company and unwilling to work with you, find one that's in this business for the right fucking reasons. You know what I'm saying? I swear to God. And I was talking, it's so funny. My buddy Lynn and I were talking, and she's like, oh my God, you're taking too little for the sessions. And I'm like, no, not. People are losing their jobs. People are not being able to do their service industry jobs. They're not being able to work their bar jobs or their waitressing jobs or their waiter jobs or their hostessing jobs or things like that. So if I had my way and if I had unlimited funds, I'd be doing this for fucking free, which I'm kind of doing every Sunday anyway, because I firmly believe that people need access to mental health. So yeah, if your provider is married to their insurance company and more concerned about the money, find a different provider. And if they're unwilling to do phone sessions, find a different provider. So there it is. Okay, hope that answered that question.
Let's see. How do you handle getting back in contact with family due to pandemic fears and maintaining boundaries with the intent to return to no contact after things calm down?
You don't get back in contact with them. I did a one-off video. In fact, that was the video I did just a couple of days ago. The crisis Hoover, that's what they're doing. It's like, oh my God, we're family, so we need to be, if these assholes were abusive to you before the crisis, what makes you think they're going to be any different after or during? Hello, no contact, guys, no contact. Family is not always blood. If they are abusive and they are assholes, okay, they're scared because why? Because narcissists for the most part are terrified of dying. Why? Because they have no control over it. And they teach their children to be terrified of dying. And the truth of the matter is none of us know. It is a great unknown, and that can be a little unnerving. If you have a belief system, it can be a little bit more pleasant because you have a belief system. So, narcissists have a tendency to get in touch with people when they're dying, when they're in crisis, when they're scared, when they want comfort, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If you were no contact before, maintain no contact. Maintain gray rock, maintain no contact, whatever level you're comfortable with. And a lot of it is the guilt. Oh my God, I was out of contact with them and now they've got COVID and they're dying and blah, 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 blah. No, 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 no. Any relationship, listen to me now, believe me later. Any relationship that has guilt, fear, obligation, fear, obligation, and guilt. Let's put it in the right order. Fear, obligation, and guilt is called the fog. It's the narcissistic fog. It is unhealthy. Do not participate. Okay, there it is. All right, next question.
Next question.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I'm trying to just kind of scroll back and forth, so
okay.
Bear with me.
Okay.
Okay.
What I could do is find some of the ones that are on Facebook too, because I know there were a ton of questions that I got on Facebook. Hold on just a minute.
I got one.
Oh, okay.
Is it okay to have good days and then crash and be a crying mess?
Yes.
On 12 weeks of no contact, I left a 34-year marriage to a covert narc. Finding my feet again is super hard.
Okay, Bunny, yes, you're only 12 weeks out. The grieving process. Let's talk about the grieving process. Grief, normal grief, normal with somebody you actually like that was not abusive. The normal grieving process is approximately a year long. Why? Because you're having to go through all the firsts. First birthday, first Easter, first July 4th, first Labor Day, first Halloween, first Thanksgiving, first Christmas, first New Year's, whatever, and the first anniversary of the death kind of thing. That's normal grief. When we leave an abuser, it is complicated grief. Complicated grief. Just like we have complex PTSD, we will have complicated grief. Why? I love you, I love you, I love you, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. I love hate, love hate, love hate, love hate. I'm addicted, oh my God. So there is mixed feelings. There's love, there's hate, there's sad, there's angry, there's every emotion under the sun. You are only 12 weeks out. The first year is the hardest because we're breaking all of these old behaviors, old thoughts, old ways of thinking, old, mistaken beliefs, mistaken thoughts. We're doing things for ourselves for the first time. Some days we're going to be great. And then other days we're going to be a puddle of yuck on the floor. And you know what? That's okay. The reason you're having such a hard time with it is abusers, narcissists do not know how to comfort. Narcissists do not know how to comfort. And when somebody shows a puddle of yuck on the floor, they get yelled at, they get screamed at, how dare you? And then they make it about themselves. I'm so put upon, it's blah, 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 blah. So they never show us any sympathy or empathy because they don't have any. And we learn that it's not okay and we make ourselves wrong for it. Like somehow that's just something to be shamed about. No, you're human. We cry. Every single mammal on the face of the planet tears up when it feels pain. You are in pain. So being a puddle of yuck on the floor, you have my blessing. It's okay. It's going to happen. You're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days. And it's just what it is. So now is the time to reach out to support groups. So I would say outofthefog.website, Flying Monkeys, oh my, that's got, some of the online support groups. That's a really good thing to do. You do not want to reach out to your abuser in this time, even though we're stressed out and we're scared and everything else. It's not going to be any better. In fact, it'll be worse. So what one person was telling me is that the abuser had, hoovered them during this pandemic. And so they did. They went and saw them, and they said that the abuser had this creepy smile on their face, not like a, oh my God, I'm so glad to see you. Thank God we can reconcile, which is what a normal person would do. But a creepy, yeah, I made you come back. I'm the one with the power, bitch. Seriously, it's a power and control thing for them. So, so it's normal. It's normal. And your grieving is going to be all over the place. So super important to do self-care, super important to take as much care of yourself as you can in that. I want you to work on self-esteem workbook by Glenn Schiraldi, C-PTSD by From Surviving to Thriving by Pete Walker, Codependent No More by Melanie Beattie, Beyond Codependent No More by Melanie Beattie, The Disease to Please by Harriet Breaker. And if you guys are wondering where these books are, I have them on a list on my Facebook page. So you can go to my Facebook page and find them I think it's in the notes section. So yeah. So you can find all of these books. I mean, I list 100,000 million different books. Oh, and the question about forgiveness. So there's two really good books on forgiveness. One is Radical Acceptance by Tara Brach. The other one is Radical Forgiveness by Colin Tipping. Both excellent books. I strongly recommend them. No, I don't have COVID. I'm just coughing because we got allergies. Everything's blooming. All right, next question.
Next question is, it's not a question, but please tell people not to click on a link in a text or something that says the claim the $1,000 relief fund.
Oh my God, guys,
there's
so many scams out there right now, and they're playing off of your fear. So no, you're not going to click on any link or any text that says click here to get your $1,000 payout by the government, which by the way is not going to help people. Just letting you know. It'll help this much, but it's not going to help. I mean, business owners are losing their businesses. I had a friend call me from Los Angeles last night that was freaking out because she's like, okay, I've got enough rent for my house for 2 months. And after that, I'm screwed. So yeah, anyway, don't click on anything that says, click here to get your tests. That's not how it works. Don't click on anything that says, click here to get your payout from the government. That's not how it works. Don't give out your social security number to anybody. There's apparently a scam going around where they're like, calling people up going, okay, well, in order to get your COVID test, you need to give us your social. No, you don't need to do that. So please be aware. There's also apparently some gang in California that was dressing like a hazmat kind of thing, claiming that they were coming by and cleaning all the houses. No, they clean you out of all your valuables. Don't let anybody into your house, guys. That's not what the government does. The government barely knows its ass from a hole in the ground with a GPS in 2 hands. Don't get me started. So, yeah. Anyway, so that's what you're going to want to be watching for is any of these scams. Don't click on it. That's fear. They're playing on your fear. Okay, next question.
Next question.
Yes.
How do you stay sane during the silent treatment by the abusers when you don't have support? How do you stay safe while living with someone that doesn't take the virus or the lockdown seriously?
You get the fuck out as soon as you can. You do. You get the fuck out as soon as you can. Silent treatment is used to punish, and it's used to make the target of abuse feel very isolated because they've already isolated you from all your family and friends. Now is the time to reach out virtually to family and friends. Now is the time to find out where you can go live. Now is the time to find out if somebody will take you in. Absolutely. Get online support from the online support groups, outofthefog.website. Flying Monkeys, Narcissist Flying Monkeys, Narcissist Psychopaths Flying Monkeys, oh my, I think that's the name of the group. There's a whole bunch of narcissistic support websites out there, guys. Again, be aware of predators because they are on there because they want new supply because they're isolated too. Oh, and speaking of which, I had somebody contact me yesterday and said, but they deserve love too. Okay. Ecumenically, every being deserves love. However, narcissists are monsters. They do not have empathy. I cannot stress this enough. You cannot love them into sanity. That is not going to happen. If you could, I would be out of business and I wouldn't have written 2 books on this. So they have no empathy, guys. You cannot love them into sanity. You cannot sympathize with them into sanity. You cannot make them see the error of their ways. They're not going to get it. Why? Number 1, they have no empathy. They were born without the empathy cog. Number 2, they are 100% ego. And their ego would rather die being right than to admit they've ever done anything wrong. One of my father's favorite things to say was, I'm not wrong. I'm just temporarily confused. Right. So you cannot love them into sanity. Okay, next question.
Next question.
Yes.
What are your thoughts regarding the conspiratorial nonsense highlighting the natural anxieties of people dealing with the coronavirus? You know, like it came from somebody created it in a lab or, you know, all these conspiracy theories about the virus.
This is where I bang my head into a wall. Okay, guys. There would not be as many conspiracy theories if everybody actually, I don't know, studied anatomy, understood how viruses work. So when there is fear, we like to have this idea that we are in control. We are not. Hate to break it to you guys, but I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but we're kind of like on a rock in the middle of this vast empty vacuum with a blazing sun hurtling through space at thousands of miles an hour with a whole bunch of asteroids out there, and you're fucking thinking you're in control? Really? So here's the deal. When we're out of control and we're terrified, we try to come up with stories. It's just like little kids, okay? When a kid does not have all the information, they make shit up in order to explain what's going on in their world. And that is exactly what's happening with these idiots out there that do not understand medicine, that do not understand anatomy, that don't understand the way a virus works, that don't educate themselves on how things work, et cetera, just like the anti-vaxxers don't think, oh, it's funny how quiet those fuckers are now, huh? Anyway, did I say that out loud? Fucking yes, I did. Okay, so they don't understand science. You want this country to be strong? Make sure that everyone, your children, you, everybody is studying science. Science. Yes, I'm going to sound like, what was his name? Thomas Dolby. So when we're fearful, we don't have the answers, we make shit up. And that's what little kids do. So guess who's running those people? It's not the adult them, it's the inner child. The inner child's terrified. And so they're making up stories just like a little kid does. So for example, when I worked at the New Song Center, in Phoenix. And I did children's grief clinics, right? This is when I was debating whether I was going to become a counselor or a social worker. That's when I was like, do I do this? Do I do this? And I was volunteering there, and I was running the volunteer group. Little kids, if they were not given all of the information as to the nature of the death of their loved one, they would make shit up. I mean, just crazy shit that we had to disabuse them of. So it's like, and that's why I'm saying is that when we don't have all the answers, if you're being run by your inner child and the subconscious is letting the inner child run the show, the inner child is going to come up with all of these crazy explanations for why things are going the way they are. I hate to break it to you. Listen to me now, believe me later. They've been warning of a pandemic for years. That is why we had a pandemic force in place at the CDC that was disbanded by this administration 2 years ago. Okay, they've known this has been coming. The scientists have known this has been coming for years. Okay, this is not surprising to anybody who's actually been reading stuff. So when people don't have all the answers, they try to make shit up. Okay, so that they can feel in control. So when you hear these crazy conspiracy theories, take a deep breath. Do not listen to the CDC. Listen to the WHO, the World Health Organization, because the CDC right now does not have anybody on there that is a pandemic expert. So you want to listen to the World Health Organization, read up on their stuff. They've got some really good stuff out there. Listen to scientists. I just posted a huge article from the scientist who stopped smallpox. Why do we never hear of smallpox? Because it was eradicated because of this man. And he wrote this wonderful article on what we can expect in the coming days from this pandemic. And he's telling the truth because he's a scientist and he knows what the fuck he's talking about. So go on to my We Need to Talk page. I posted it. It says, you know, the man who stopped smallpox, or the doctor who stopped smallpox. And it was really funny because the first time I read that article titled The Doctor Who Stopped, you know, the doctor who stopped, I thought it was Doctor Who, but it's not. Anyway, I'm rambling. Coffee. All right. So that answers that. All right. Next question.
Next question. Can you become asexual after having too many narcissistic relationships?
Well, you can certainly be not interested in sex. That's for damn sure. Yeah. I mean, you could just be so tired of all of the abuse that you just kind of go, well, I'm done. I'm good. Self-service. We're good. You know, yeah, absolutely. And a part of that is not trusting because you've been through so many abusive relationships. I would say strongly, work on yourself. Work on yourself. And I don't mean that in a sexual way. I mean that in a, whoa, that escalated fast. What I mean is that now is the time to work on self-esteem, on your deal breakers. What will you not put up with? This is what scares me when people tell me, okay, I've been out of the relationship and I've been out for a couple of years and I'm feeling good and I want to get back into another relationship. Whoa, put the brakes on that there, people. Have you done the self-esteem workbook? Have you worked through the C-PTSD, from surviving to thriving? Have you done the inner child workbook? Are you doing the mirror work daily? Do you have your list of deal breakers? Deal breakers. So, for example, I love you, I hate you, you know, the intermittent positive rewards, the lying, rewriting history. I never said that. That never happened. I didn't. Oh, no, I've always been blah, 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 you know, rewriting history, calling you names, putting you down. You know, you have to have your list of deal breakers. And the second any one of these people cross over one of those lines, be done. You don't deserve it. So make sure you've got all that stuff in place. Then you're good to date. So is it normal for people to just lose all interest? Yeah, absolutely. Because when you've been hurt enough, you just kind of go, fuck it. I don't care anymore. I don't want to be hurt anymore. I'm done. Don't need it. I'm good. I'm out. Peace out. Thanks. Yeah. So that is a normal response, but I would love to see you work on yourself and hopefully start learning to trust your gut. So you don't want to listen to your head. You don't want to listen to your heart. These two guys tell stories. Well, yes, but big story. No, but big story. Okay. Yes, no, big story. Confusion. That's the head and the heart. The gut is a simple yes or no answer to a yes or no question. And you start by small things that you already know the answer to. Hello, gut. Okay. Like, for example, I hate peanut butter. I really do. It's the texture, I've decided. I think it's the texture. I just, bleh. So, hello, gut. Do I like peanut butter? Ugh. It's like a visceral reaction. My gut clenches and it's like, no, you don't. So, okay, that's a gut answer. Okay, gut. Do I like Reese's peanut butter cups? Oh, yes. a totally different response. So you start listening to how your gut responds to yes or no questions. And then you start trusting your gut. Do not listen to the head or the heart. They tell stories. The gut is a simple yes or no answer to a yes or no question. So yes, that is normal to become asexual. It is normal to just be like, I'm so done with all you people. Yeah, absolutely. But please work on yourself and please start trusting your gut and get a list of deal breakers together. Do the hard work and you may find yourself interested again. So there it is. All right, next question.
I've slipped back. I've slipped back into obsessive thinking over the estrangement from my family. My grown son is still not in my life and it's killing me. How do I cope with family alienation now during this?
Okay, so again, because of the extraordinary circumstances, because there is literally life and death on the line, we start second guessing ourselves. And again, if they're abusive, if they're unwilling to get help, okay, if they're unwilling to work on their shit, do not have them in your life. I don't care if the REM song starts playing or not. You know, it's the end of the world as we know it. So you just resign yourself. It's like, okay, they're abusive and they're not going to change. If they're not in therapy, if they're not working on themselves, if they're not trying to make amends, if they're not, you know, then you just, God bless, go with love, hasta la vista. Let them go. And you write and burn letters. You journal. You get it out of your head. You get it onto paper. And you process the sadness, the grief. This is grieving. You're grieving. You're grieving the loss of the relationship. You process the anger. Damn it, why won't they work on themselves? How stupid is that? It's so easy a fix. You know, again, ego won't let them. You process whatever is going through your head. So the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever, you write it out, get it out of your head, get it onto paper, trot it out to the barbecue, read it out loud once, burn it, let it go. Do not reconnect with family or friends if they were abusive. Do not. Okay, now is not the time. Yes, shit is weird, but you don't need abuse on top of that because they will. All right, does that make sense? Next question.
Okay, we got, how do you deal with blackmailing and the shameful secrets that will be exposed by a narcissist?
You let them. You absolutely blackmail me. Go ahead. Go ahead, fucker. Do it. And then you call police because that's extortion. That is extortion. That is extortion. That is illegal. That is a federal offense. That is extortion. Call police. Call police. Call police. Abso-fucking-lutely. Get a restraining order in place. They are going to say and do things to try to shame you. And you just call police and get them caught. And you don't worry about it. Here's the thing. Your tribe is going to support you regardless. Okay? People who don't support you are not your tribe. And yes, they will threaten and, you know, I'm going to say this, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to expose this, or well, that is extortion. So great, contact police, you know, especially if they're wanting money or something to stay silent, or if they're saying, well, come back to me and I won't do that. That too is extortion. So, so you've got to just, you got to just be okay with them exposing it. Okay. So what? So, and do it, fucker. I dare you. So yeah, and it's extortion and it's illegal. So yeah, get with the police department and see if you can catch them. That would be beautiful and lovely, and I'd pay money to see that. So anyway, and be careful because these people are desperate and they're dangerous, and the type that would extort are generally the type that will also stalk. So have an order of protection in place. Carry mace on you. If you're in Arizona, you can conceal carry, which is what I do. I carry mace and a gun. So, you know, there it is. All right, next question.
Okay. My life is laden with narcissists, from family to boyfriends. I'm dumped on by almost everybody except my family. How do we change our lives late in life and break the conditioning? And what am I putting out there that's attracting all these narcissist people to me?
Codependency. So what it is that we have got a huge sign on our forehead that says, please abuse me, because we put up with it. So here's the thing. You got to start going no contact with all these people. Get with a good trauma therapist, CBT, DBT, EMDR, EFT, any of these. So, okay, so somebody, my buddy Carolyn was like, wait, what do all these things mean? All right, cognitive behavioral therapy. Okay, that's what I do. Cognitive behavioral therapy, working on mistaken thoughts, mistaken beliefs. You don't deserve to be treated like this. Why are you putting up with it? DBT, dialectic behavioral therapy, mindfulness. It's basically westernized, medicinized Buddhism. That's really what it is. It's mindfulness. What is driving the thought? Why are you having this thought? What do you think is going to come of this? Okay, DBT. EFT, emotional freedom therapy. That can involve tapping. That's the, you know, the tapping stuff that helps with the trauma. EMDR. Oh, I always forget what this stands for. Eye movement, rapid desensitization. Desensitization, rapid desensitization. Anyway, it's where the eyes go back and forth and you're able to recall traumatic stuff, but it kind of bypasses the amygdala so that you're not reliving it in a flashback. So you want to get with a good trauma therapist, and you do not need to have these people in your life. The books I keep talking about, start working them. Start working on self-esteem. It all boils down to self-esteem, guys. When somebody has got good self-esteem, they don't put up with abuse. They do not. And they don't take it from anybody. And they're not, you keep looking outside thinking, oh my gosh, they're going to finally figure it out that I'm a good person and I deserve to be treated well. No, they're not. You're looking for other esteem. You need self-esteem. Self-esteem is just that tiny little voice that goes, hey, I like you. Hey, good job. Ooh, it's pretty out. Ooh, look at the sky. Ooh, oh, hey, you fucked up. Okay, make amends. Okay, good, you did. Okay, forgive yourself. Move on. Kind, gentle, you know, supportive, you know. You keep looking outside for other esteem. That's why you keep drawing these people to you, because you're being codependent. You're leaning on them to tell you who you are. You need you to tell you who you are. You need to reparent yourself. So strongly recommend C-PTSD From Surviving to Thriving by Pete Walker, The Inner Child Workbook by Catherine Taylor, The Self-Esteem Workbook by Glenn Schiraldi. If you don't like that one, there is You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. Did I miss one? The Disease to Please by Harriet Breaker, Codependent No More, Beyond Codependent No More, both by Melanie Beattie. So yeah. So you've got to stop depending on abusers. They're never going to change, guys. They're never going to change. They are never going to figure it out. They're never going to suddenly go, oh my God, you're right. I've treated you horribly. I'm so sorry. That's not going to happen. So you must take steps to protect yourself. And that means bye-bye. Bye-bye, guys. Don't need you. Fuck off. So there it is.
There's still a lot of questions.
There's still a lot of questions. Holy crap. What time? Oh, geez.
Because we've been in an hour, so you might want to save your voice too for tomorrow.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna stop for now.
Questions and then.
So he's gonna write down, John's gonna write down all of the extra questions. I will try to get to those at some point this week. Tomorrow's show is going to be on attachment styles. So the reason we get involved with an abuser depends a lot on our attachment style. So tomorrow I'm going to talk about healthy attachment, insecure attachment, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, the hows and the whys. Do ask more questions tomorrow because I will be on at noon Pacific time and 3 o'clock Eastern. Please do take good care of yourselves. Do the socialization. Please stop hoarding. That would be nice. Check in on your neighbors. Make sure that people who need rubbing alcohol have rubbing alcohol and that our professionals have got masks. Do contact your senators and your representatives because this mess was made by them because honestly, they knew about this back in January and they did nothing. So please send your wrath to them. Okay, guys, I love you. Please take care. Stay safe. And I will see you tomorrow at noon talking about attachment disorders. Talk to you later. Bye.